Your subconscious is sabotaging you right at this moment. As you watch this video, as you aspire to greater achievements, as you set ambitious goals, there is an invisible force working against all of this. And the most disturbing part? You don't even realize it's happening. Most people spend their entire lives fighting external obstacles, money, time, opportunities, without ever recognizing that the true battle is inside their own mind. Your greatest enemy is not out there. It lives in the silent territory of your subconscious, running programs installed decades ago, blocking your progress with an efficiency you need to understand right now. Today, you will discover the 4 hidden signs that your own mind is blocking your success. This is not knowledge that most people will ever discover. They will remain trapped, blaming circumstances, without ever understanding that the source code of sabotage is programmed within themselves. Napoleon Hill spent 20 years studying 500 of the most successful entrepreneurs in history alongside Andrew Carnegie. 20 years analyzing minds that built unimaginable fortunes. And do you know what he discovered? That success and failure are not accidental. They are predictable consequences of specific psychological laws. Laws that govern how your subconscious operates. Laws that, at this moment, are determining whether you will prosper or remain stagnant. These are not motivational speeches. This is not superficial positive thinking. These are psychological laws tested by decades of research. And here is the most important truth. Your subconscious is either your servant or your master. There is no middle ground. If you do not program it consciously, it is already programmed by external forces, by social fears, by limiting beliefs that you have absorbed without questioning. Henry Ford faced constant ridicule. His colleagues mocked his vision. Society said he was an irrational dreamer. But Ford won because his subconscious was reprogrammed to ignore this social pressure. He did not wait for things to work out. He decided they would work out. And that decision transformed into an internal law that his subconscious obeyed without question. Let's dive into the first sign that your subconscious is sabotaging you. Sign number 1. You're afraid of overshadowing others. There is a psychological law operating within you right now, the law of subconscious loyalty to mediocrity. Your brain was designed to protect relationships. And at some deep level, it believes that your success will threaten the people around you. So it sabotages you. Here's how it works. When you're about to take a significant step, your subconscious detects that this might distance you from the group. You might earn more than your friends. You might achieve a status they will never reach. And because humans evolved in tribes where exclusion meant death, your brain interprets this as danger. So it creates internal resistance. It invents excuses. It generates doubts. It makes you hesitate exactly when you should move forward. This is the psychological principle of cognitive dissonance between ambition and tribal belonging. Your conscious mind wants success. Your subconscious wants acceptance. And when these two impulses conflict, the subconscious almost always wins because it operates below the level of your conscious perception. Henry Ford felt this. He was ridiculed by his colleagues when he started building his empire. But his subconscious was trained to override social pressure. He reprogrammed his mind to understand a fundamental truth. People who ridicule you for your ambitions do not belong to your future circle. He burned mental bridges with mediocrity, and this liberated him. If you have ever felt that you are holding back your maximum potential near certain people, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you have ever diminished your achievements in conversations to not make others feel bad, your subconscious is running this sabotage program, and it will continue running until you consciously reprogram it. Tonight, write the following affirmation 3 times. My success expands my circle, it does not threaten it. Write it by hand, not typed. The physical act of writing activates deeper neural circuits. As you write, your subconscious begins to accept this new truth. Sign number 2. You are addicted to your comfort zone. Another law is operating against you now. The law of preference for familiar failure. Your brain has a threat detection system called the amygdala. This system was designed to keep you alive by identifying dangers. But here's the problem. It cannot distinguish between real danger and emotional discomfort. When you're about to take a significant step towards success, something new, something unknown, your amygdala fires. It releases cortisol. It activates stress responses. It screams, danger. And because your brain prefers known pain to unknown success, it pulls you back to familiar patterns, even if those patterns are destroying you. This is amygdala hijacking. Your subconscious labels growth as danger because growth requires you to abandon comfortable patterns, and comfort for the primitive brain equals safety. So it sabotages any attempt to leave this known territory. Thomas Edison embodied this principle. He failed 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb. 10,000 times. But he rewired his subconscious to interpret failure as valuable data, not personal defeat. He completely rewrote his internal narrative. His brain transformed unsuccessful attempts from perceived danger into inevitable steps of progress towards ultimate success. You've felt this before. That invisible wall when you're approaching a major achievement. That inner voice whispering, maybe it's not the right time. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe it's better to wait. That voice is not wisdom, it's subconscious sabotage. It's your brain trying to keep you safe within patterns it knows, even if those patterns keep you trapped. And here's the urgent truth you need to internalize right now. Each day your subconscious keeps you in this zone. You lose ground. While you hesitate, others are moving forward. While you comfort yourself with familiarity, opportunities are disappearing. Time does not wait for you to casually reprogram your mind. Either you act now, or you accept that mediocrity is your choice. Tonight you will write this second affirmation 3 times. I embrace discomfort as proof of growth, not danger. Write it 3 times. When finished, read both affirmations aloud. Let your subconscious absorb this new directive. Thinking is not enough, you must declare. Spoken words activate neural pathways that silent thoughts cannot reach. Now you need to understand something fundamental. This is not superficial positive thinking. This is subconscious reprogramming through repetition. When you repeat an affirmation with conviction, especially before sleeping when the subconscious is most receptive, you install new commands. And over time, these commands become automatic laws that govern your actions without conscious effort. Napoleon Hill documented this exact principle. He called it autosuggestion, and he observed that all great fortunes began with a definite idea repeatedly implanted in the subconscious until it was accepted as certainty. Not as hope, as certainty. Your subconscious does not respond to wishes. It responds to definitive commands repeated with emotion. So before going to sleep tonight, you will write these 2 affirmations 3 times each. You will read them out loud, and when speaking, you will incorporate emotion. Do not speak as if reading a text. Speak as if you are declaring an immutable law of the universe, because that is exactly what you are doing. You are installing internal laws that your subconscious will automatically follow. And here's what you need to know. These are just the first 2 signs, but the next 2 are even more insidious. They explain why you sabotage yourself exactly at the threshold of success, why you collapse when victory is in sight. Carnegie said that this pattern destroyed more fortunes than any external force ever could. The subconscious does not want you to hear what comes next. It wants you to close this video now, return to your comfort zone, and continue the same patterns that have kept you stagnant. But if you're still here, you are already different from 95% of people, because most cannot bear to face the truth about their own internal sabotage. Sign number 3 will reveal the most devastating self-sabotage pattern that exists, what Carnegie identified as the silent killer of dreams. And when you recognize it operating in your own life, everything will change, because you cannot defeat an enemy you cannot see. But once you see it, once you understand the exact mechanics of how it operates, you can dismantle it. And that is exactly what we will do next. You have identified 2 subconscious blocks, but the next 2 are the most dangerous. Carnegie called sign number 3, the invisible ceiling of human achievement. If you are still watching, your subconscious is already beginning to change. Sign 3 reveals why you sabotage yourself just before advancing. This is the moment when most people stop learning, and that is exactly the pattern. Sign number 3. Success feels like unworthiness. The law of subconscious identity ceiling. Have you ever felt that you didn't deserve something just as the opportunity appeared? It was not a coincidence. It was your subconscious obeying your childhood programming. People like us don't achieve this. People like us don't deserve this. People like us stay here. Your subconscious works like an invisible thermostat. It has a defined level of identity, a temperature of success that you allow yourself to feel. When you start to exceed this level, when you begin to have more money than the people around you, when you start to have more recognition than your family had, when you start to live a life that your mind says is not yours, something happens. Your subconscious hits the brake. Carnegie observed this profound human pattern 100 years ago. Most individuals do not truly fail. Instead, they surrender before tasting success. They halt not because their goal is unattainable, but because success feels fundamentally uncomfortable. It resonates like betrayal, like an impersonation, like an identity that doesn't align with their self-perception. And so they retreat. They retreat to the familiar comfort zone that feels like home, even when that home is nothing more than a sanctuary of mediocrity. This is the law of subconscious identity sealing. You cannot have what you do not believe you deserve. You can work hard. You can sacrifice. You can have the perfect strategy. But if your subconscious believes that success is not for you, it will find a way to ensure that you do not keep it, a way to ensure that you lose it, a way to ensure that you sabotage everything just before the finish line. You have felt unworthy precisely when opportunity knocked. You've reflexively rejected help that seemed too generous. You've downplayed your own achievements, wrestling with imposter syndrome. In those critical moments, you felt unworthy exactly when opportunity presented itself. You've turned down assistance because it felt overwhelming. You've minimized your achievements, believing you were an imposter. You've even said no to something you truly desired, because your subconscious whispered that it wasn't meant for you. This is sign 3. This is the identity sealing in action. Write this affirmation 10 times tonight. I am worthy of unlimited success from birth, not achievement. Read it out loud. Repeat until your subconscious absorbs it as immutable law, not fleeting hope. What you repeat becomes your reality. What you repeat defines your identity. What you repeat determines the boundaries your subconscious will permit. Sign number 4. Sabotage at threshold moments. The law of subconscious threshold resistance. This is the most brutal. This is what destroys careers. This is what destroys relationships. This is what keeps you trapped in cycles for decades. You are about to have your biggest breakthrough. You are a week away from closing the deal. You are days away from launching the project. You are about to have the conversation that will change everything. And then, out of nowhere, something goes wrong. You hurt your ankle. You get into a fight with your partner. You get sick. You get distracted by drama that doesn't matter. And the moment passes. You thought it was bad luck. You thought it was misfortune. You thought it was bad timing. It was not. It was your subconscious creating a crisis to avoid unknown success territory. It was the law of subconscious threshold resistance. Your brain is afraid of the unknown. It prefers familiar suffering to unknown success. It prefers familiar struggle to unknown peace. It prefers familiar mediocrity to unknown greatness. And so exactly when you are about to cross the threshold, exactly when you are about to enter a new level of life, your subconscious creates a crisis. It creates a problem. It creates a distraction. Because if you are dealing with the crisis, you cannot pursue the advancement. If you are dealing with the drama, you cannot pursue the opportunity. It creates a problem. It creates a distraction. Because if you are dealing with the crisis, you cannot pursue the advancement. If you are dealing with the drama, you cannot pursue the opportunity. If you are dealing with chaos, you cannot pursue success. Henry Ford went bankrupt 5 times before creating the Model T. 5 times. Each instance was marked by subconscious sabotage and threshold resistance, with his own mind desperately trying to keep him anchored in the familiar territory of failure. But Ford saw through this psychological trap. He chose to believe success was inevitable. He committed that advancement was his destiny. He refused to let internal sabotage dictate his path. Through relentless repetition, he systematically reprogrammed his subconscious. And what if you could do the same? What if you could recognize the sabotage before it destroys your opportunity? What if you could see the threshold resistance for what it is, fear disguised as a crisis? Right in front of your biggest opportunity, something randomly goes wrong. You enter into conflict. You get sick. You get distracted. You sabotage yourself. This pattern will repeat until you reprogram it. Tonight, now, not tomorrow, tonight. Write this affirmation 3 times before bed. I welcome advancement without sabotage. I am ready. Read it out loud. Feel the words. Let your subconscious know that you see the pattern, that you understand the law, that you will no longer be a slave to threshold resistance, because recognition is the first step to mastery. These 4 signs are now your daily consciousness checklist. Sign 1, fear of success. Sign 2, comfort in discomfort. Sign 3, unworthiness. Sign 4, sabotage at the threshold. Every morning you will check these signs. Every night you will reprogram through ritual. This is not casual advice. This is mental warfare. Complete ritual system. Morning ritual. Read the 4 affirmations out loud, 3 repetitions each. Affirmation 1, my success expands my circle, it does not threaten it. Affirmation 2, I embrace discomfort as proof of growth, not danger. Affirmation 3, I am worthy of unlimited success from birth, not achievement. Affirmation 4, I welcome advancement without sabotage. I am ready. Night ritual. Write the 4 affirmations before bed, 3 times each. Use a pen. Use paper. Do not type. The hand writes. The brain records. The subconscious absorbs. This is the reprogramming process. This is the method Carnegie practiced daily. This is why he mastered his destiny, while others remain slaves to their minds. Weekly review. Every Sunday night you will take your journal. You will review the week. You will identify the threshold moments where signs 1 through 4 appeared. You will write when you feared success. You will write when you chose familiar discomfort. You will write when you felt unworthy. You will write when you sabotaged yourself. And then you will write what you will do differently next week. This is the complete ritual system. This is the path to subconscious mastery. Repeat these affirmations until your subconscious internalizes them as absolute truth, not mere hope. Repeat them until they become second nature. Repeat them until belief becomes inevitable. Carnegie practiced this daily. That's why he mastered his destiny. That's why he created unlimited wealth. That's why he became the master, not the slave. What if you could do the same? What if 30 days of this ritual transformed your subconscious from master to servant? What if 30 days of this ritual unlocked opportunities you were blind to see? What if 30 days of this ritual revealed relationships you were blocking? What if 30 days of this ritual released actions you were avoiding? You will notice opportunities you were blind to see. You will notice relationships you were blocking. You will notice actions you were avoiding. You will notice resistance diminishing. You will notice sabotage stopping. You will notice your identity ceiling rising. And you will realize that your subconscious is not your enemy. It is your servant, but only when you become the master. You are now part of the 5% who understand the subconscious laws. Most people will spend their entire lives enslaved by these 4 destructive patterns: fear of success, comfort in discomfort, feelings of unworthiness, self-sabotage. They will never recognize the signs. They will never learn the laws. They will never reprogram their minds, and they will die wondering why nothing changed, why nothing improved, why they remained trapped. You will not be one of them. You will not live as a slave. You will not die with regret, because you now possess the knowledge. You now possess the system. You now possess the ritual. And tonight you become the master. Hill said, the master key to wealth is held by those who master their subconscious. Tonight you become one of them. You've invested 20 minutes learning these laws. Honor this commitment by acting tonight, not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Because knowledge without action is merely an illusion. Awareness without ritual is a fantasy. Understanding without repetition leads to forgetfulness. Knowledge is useless without ritual. Do not waste what you've learned. Do not let it disappear. Do not let your subconscious return to the default pattern. Take a pen now. Take a paper now. Write the 4 affirmations now. This is your first act of mastery. This is your first act of reprogramming. This is your first act as a master, not a slave. Subscribe for the next video. The 7 subconscious laws that masters use daily. This knowledge is spreading. Be early to mastery, not late to regret. Because the 5% who act early create lives that the 95% envy. The 5% who act tonight wake up different tomorrow. The 5% who reprogram their subconscious today become unstoppable tomorrow. Carnegie said, the only thing between you and your goal is the story your subconscious keeps telling you. Tonight you rewrite that story. Tonight you plant new seeds. Tonight you become the gardener of your own destiny. Your subconscious is reprogramming itself as we speak. Feed it with truth, not fear. Feed it with certainty, not doubt. Feed it with mastery, not slavery. And watch as your life transforms into something unrecognizable. The 4 signs are no longer mysteries. The 4 laws are no longer secrets. The complete ritual system is no longer hidden. You possess the knowledge. You possess the power. You possess the path. Now you just need to walk it. Tonight, now, be the master. Become unstoppable. Transform into the inevitable.